had a lot of fun analyzing Kai's natal chart. He has some pretty interesting configurations. But before we get started, please note this reading is limited by the absence of a confirmed birth time. For the purpose of this analysis, I've used a midday chart at 12 p.m. as a reference point. However, I do want to mention that based on Kai's appearance, particularly his above average height, strong build, and bone structure, it's reasonable to speculate that Kai most likely has an air or fire sign ascendant. Fire and air signs are associated with greater height, a more elongated physique, and an athletic build, whereas water and earth ascendants are often linked to shorter or stockier builds with soft and round appearances. The chart calculated for 12 p.m., Kai's moon is positioned at 19 degrees of Aquarius, which means that regardless of the exact time of his birth, his moon will remain in Aquarius on his birthday, providing us with a reliable anchor for his emotional and inner landscape. Kai's chart is strongly marked by Capricorn energy, with his Sun, Venus, Mars all placed in Capricorn and forming conjunctions with Uranus and Neptune, which are also in Capricorn. This creates a Capricorn stellium that shapes his character with themes of patience, reservation, discipline, and a methodical approach to life. He is someone who values structure and reliability, with a natural inclination to pursue his goals with careful planning and persistence. Further strengthening this Capricornian nature is the presence of Saturn in Aquarius, which is conjunct his moon. Saturn rules over Capricorn and Aquarius. This makes him very Saturnian, highlighting traits of seriousness, maturity, and a strong sense of responsibility. Saturn's influence over the moon indicates that Kai's emotional world is deeply intertwined with his need for stability, order, and control. This makes him emotionally reserved, cautious, and slow to express his deeper self. He may find it challenging to openly share his vulnerabilities or let his emotions surface without careful deliberation. This Saturnian energy extends to his worldview and how he interacts with the world. Kai likely holds clear and well-defined expectations about what is right, appropriate, and acceptable, whether in personal conduct, relationships, or social settings. He has a deeply ingrained belief that formality and self-discipline are essential virtues. Expressing emotions or acting on whims can feel too messy or too revealing. Capricorn tends to see emotional restraint as a sign of self-mastery, linking personal dignity to the ability to remain composed and operate within clearly defined boundaries. For him, being well-mannered and controlled is a demonstration of respect for oneself and others as a sign of inner strength and maturity. This can make him appear somewhat rigid or impersonal at times. Moreover, Saturn square to Pluto intensifies Saturnian traits in Kai. Pluto's hold adds depth, intensity, and profound inner strength. He has a tendency to seek mastery over his circumstances, which fuels extreme diligence and drive. He possesses tremendous perseverance and resilience and is able to withstand challenges and setbacks without losing sight of his long-term goals. In addition to his Saturnian discipline, Kai is motivated by an intrinsic desire for respect, power, and influence. This combination of Capricorn's steady determination, Aquarius's forward-thinking vision, and Pluto's transformative power drives someone like Kai to leave a lasting impact on the world, whether through personal accomplishments or his presence as a remarkable and influential idol. He is propelled by a deep compulsion to contribute something meaningful. Another strong astrological mark in his chart is his Venus cazimi, which means Venus is on the exact degree with the Sun, and their expression being colored significantly by a conjunction from Uranus. This means that Venus and Uranus are also strong signatures in his chart. This fusion of energies paints a portrait of a person who approaches life with an innate desire for harmony and peace, favoring environments that foster cooperation and mutual respect. At his core, he is someone strikingly unique, original, predictable, and driven by a strong rebellious spirit. He resists being boxed in or defined by others, often choosing to carve out his own path rather than follow the one laid before him. Whether it's through his self-expression, lifestyle, daily routines, or approach to love, he naturally veers away from convention. He thrives on freedom and independence, and he needs ample personal space and authentic self-expression more than approval. This Venusian influence also manifests in his physical appearance, particularly in Capricorn, where beauty is expressed through strong bone structure, a well-built physique, and an understated yet striking masculine elegance. His aesthetic appeal is sharp and captivating, reflecting a blend of classic charm of Venus in Capricorn and contemporary allure colored by Uranus in Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn isn't drawn to flashy or ostentatious displays. Instead, it appreciates the kind of beauty that is defined by substance, durability, and quiet strength. Kai has an eye for quality and values traditional or classical standards of beauty, yet he's equally captivated by those who defy convention and possess fresh, unconventional beauty. He admires individuals that are steadfast, those who preserve and honor their commitments, but he's especially drawn to those who do so while moving outside the bounds of societal norms and expectations. In relationships and creative pursuits, Kai likely seeks a balance between familiarity and novelty. He enjoys the comfort of reliable patterns, but is also invigorated by moments of surprise and exploration. He's drawn to people who feel familiar, those who share his values of hard work, reliability, and accountability, yet he's equally intrigued by individuals who are quirky, zany, or unapologetically offbeat, those who stand out from the crowd and take pride in their uniqueness. He likely holds two very different ideal types. One is grounded, responsible, and composed, someone who offers stability and a sense of safety. This is the practical, dependable wife material. Yet he's constantly drawn to the other, the rebellious, unconventional, and fiercely independent woman who lives by her own rules. Her unpredictability and bold spirit intrigue him, even if she feels just out of reach and unavailable. Kai's ability to take decisive action and pursue what he wants is significantly empowered by Mars in Capricorn, a placement where Mars is especially strong. This means Mars operates with greater discipline, endurance, and precision, making his drive focused and effective. His actions are calculated, deliberate, and goal-oriented. He doesn't act impulsively. Instead, he maps out his path based on his long-term goals. Once he sets his sights on something or someone, he has the ability to quickly assess the most strategic steps to take to ensure his success. This is just an innate gift he has, but this gift is not always available on demand. Sometimes it can feel just out of reach with Neptune conjunct Mars in his chart. Neptune softens Mars's directness and boldness. It blurs the edges of his drive, making it harder to act decisively or clearly define what he wants. His desires become less about pursuit and more about longing, an emotional, poetic, or even spiritual yearning that's difficult to define. This can manifest in two powerful ways. On one hand, Neptune elevates his desires. Physical attraction alone isn't enough. Desires and ambition turns inwards into sensational and emotional cravings that get refined over and over again, leading to idealization. He's drawn to love and romance that feel essentially meaningful and even transcendent. On the other hand, this can lead him to illusions. His longing for the ideal can make him vulnerable to disappointment, especially if the object of his affection doesn't live up to the fantasy. He may find himself attracted to emotionally unavailable or unstable partners, those lost in their own words. He can lust after people who feel otherworldly, like those that live between dimensions, the dreamers, mystics, and creatives. At their best, these types are deeply inspiring, emotionally rich, and soulful. At their worst, they may be untethered, unreliable, or consumed by escapist tendencies like drug or alcohol dependencies. Neptune's influence doesn't just affect who he's drawn to, it also shapes how he acts and expresses his masculine energy. Neptune makes him a camouflage. It gives Kai a chameleon-like ability to mirror those around him, especially those he admires or desires. This could make him an extremely great actor. His masculinity becomes more fluid. That can make him incredibly magnetic. People sense something soft, mysterious, or enchanting in him. But he can also create inner confusion. Over time, he may struggle to separate what he truly wants from what he's absorbed from others. In love, he may unconsciously blur the lines between reality and illusion, projecting fantasies onto his partners while also absorbing the ideas they place onto him. This can make it difficult to distinguish his true identity from the roles he adopts. To truly thrive, Kai must learn to discern between fantasy and reality, between a seductive illusion and a soulful connection. When he does, the blend of Mars and Neptune can become a beautiful strength, allowing him to pursue love with devotion, creativity, and unconditional love.